Once upon a time, there was a thief named James. He asked for advice from honorable man in order to become a good person. "Sir, I want to grow up to be a good person. Please, help me and advise me," James pleaded. "Son, I can only help you if you agree to do as I say," the honorable man said. James agreed right away. "Well, then, you should take a pledge to give up one bad habit," the honorable man advised. James thought about all of his bad habits for a long time. He decided that cannot give up on stealing since he needed the money to support his family. "Sir, I shall not lie from now on," he told the honorable man after much thought. The honorable man blessed him with a smile. James had planned to rob the king's palace that night. He sneaked through the palace gates at midnight, climbed the palace walls, and entered the royal terrace. He noticed a shadowy figure approaching him on the terrace and was taken aback. He had no idea who it was. It was the king, disguised as a common man. He went out to see if his troops were happy. "Who are you?" James inquired of the man. "How did you end up here?" "I've come to rob the king's treasures." "Friend, we are both in it," James replied, pleased and happy to have found a mate. They exchanged handshakes. "We shall share the treasure evenly," the king remarked, overjoyed. They broke into the royal treasury as a team. While the king looked on, James was excited with joy at the sight of the treasure. They divided up all of the treasures equally. Then they discovered 3 large, sparkling diamonds. "There are 3 gems here," the king added. "How are we going to divide them?" "Let's take a diamond piece each and leave one for the king," James said. The king asked for James's address as he was leaving, so they could partner again. The next morning, the king's soldiers found out that the royal wealth had been stolen, and they immediately rushed to alert the king. "Your Majesty, the royal treasury has been taken," the chief guard announced in the king's court. The king was aware of everything, yet he pretended to be shocked. "What? What caused this to happen?" The king inquired, "Where were you all last night?" He directed the minister to investigate the loss. When the minister went inside the treasure room, he discovered a beautiful, shining diamond. He had the evil idea of keeping the gem for himself. "This is the only thing left," the minister thought to himself. "It would go unnoticed by the king. Allow me to have it all to myself." As a result, he slipped the diamond into his pocket and returned to the court. "Your Majesty, the treasury is empty and everything is gone," the minister stated. The wise king wrote the thief's address on a piece of paper and ordered his soldiers to fetch him to the court. The troops rushed to the thief's house, where they discovered James and took him to the court. Since the king was dressed in royal attire, James couldn't recognize him at court. "Did you steal the treasure last night?" the king inquired. James paused for a while, recalling his promise to the honorable man. "Yes, Majesty, I stole the treasure," James answered. "I had a partner who was willing to assist me. We divided the treasures evenly and left you with 1 diamond." "Then, where is that diamond?" the king inquired. Shivers began to run down the minister who had stolen the gem. When the king realized this, he ordered a search of the minister. The minister's pocket contained the diamond. The furious king demanded that the minister should be punished. "Why did you confess so easily?" the king questioned, amazed by James's honesty. "The honorable person had advised me to give up one undesirable habit," James responded. "It was impossible for me to stop stealing because it is my bread and butter. But I promised him I'd always tell him the truth." The king was so impressed with James's honesty that he appointed him as his minister. Moral of the Truthful Thief story. The story of the truthful thief has an important moral lesson. It teaches us that we should get rid of all our bad habits in order to become a better person. It also tells us that we should always choose the path of truth, and it will give us fruitful results.